Welcome to Beyond the Playbook. Today's special. It's a very good day. We're in a new month, so everything will get this month, the last month of the year, so things will be fresh. I make a pledge to you this month. I try to stay on the good side. Right, and hopefully Kelvin, as usual, try again to clean this show, but he's here.
No comments, zero comments, please.
All right.
I don't have anything to say.
You've not missed one show at all. You've not missed one show.
You've missed one.
Yes, but you've never missed one.
It happens now because someone has to fill it for you when you are lacking your duties.
Well, today we've got a special guest with us. Wale Quadry joins us in. For those who followed Wale, he's everywhere. Social media, rabble rouser, troublemaker, only jogbon, only wala. But he's also got quite a few good things as well to his CV. Wale is one of the few people I know who's been around a few Nigerian clubs, NPFL clubs, right? So he's got the knowledge of being in the NPFL. I know he was media officer to MFM at the beginning.
For a very long time.
I remember Wale that period. Don't worry, that's another story for another day.
He's always running around.
Give
us team sheets.
I remember Wale. No, not that you're talking about NPFL. I remember Wale when he was in NNL.
Oh, NNL.
NNL, yeah. When they were in NNL.
What was it like that?
That story, Wale is the best I can tell you that story. I think the previous club was what? It was Bolowaton, right?
So the Bolowaton.
So it was media officer from Bolowaton.
He did a demo as well one time like that. There was this.
I must say this one. I must say this one. Is it when the club was coming to the NPFL, people started applying for Wale's job. Wale now found out that people applying for a job. Wale now started juicy. Wale called all the having the shakers and having the movers. They want to collect this one. I've been with them since NNL. I've been struggling.
But Wale, what was it like that? People trying to get your job when you guys got to the big stage?
First and foremost, let me just say this. I think I'm happy to be, in the studio.
I think you should come close to the mic so that people can hear you.
I think I'm happy to be here.
You think?
Yeah.
You're not sure,
guys. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So back to the story. So that time, I was with MFM then, and we got promoted to the NPFL. And I don't know, Femi is just telling me now that people are trying to apply for a job.
The people they've applied for your job. Wale was running for pillar to post.
But the thing is, let me tell you the story so that you know that. I don't think maybe that was a false story or say rumor. So this is what happened. So I was with Bolowaton. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So at some point we gained promotion to the NNL.
NNL, yeah.
So we played like 4 or 5, 6 games. And then the owner of the club, had problems with finances, financing the club and all of that. So that became, a big problem to him. So he gave the slots to MFM. So while giving the slots to MFM, he told our guardian, I won't mention the name, so that Wale and this other person must be part of, this team because they are very young and I believe they can still grow and all of that. So that period, after he wheeled us, let me use that word, to MFM. Along the line, things were not working, and that was the time I had to go for NYC. I had to go for service, so I had to leave the team. So after NYC, I came back. The team, MFM, was still playing in the NNL. So a year after that, they got promoted to the NPFL. So in my own usual way, now, this is what I love to do. Reporting the league, doing stuff around clubs and all of that. So I went to the stadium just to cover the game. Then I realized that there was no media officer for MFM.
And I just took over like that now. I just took over and said, okay,
Fidelis Lechuku was my good friend, the head coach then.
Yeah, back then.
I went to the dressing room. I spoke to the other guys. Can I get the team list? Blah blah. So they gave me the team list. So I went to my colleagues. Journalists. So
did photocopies.
I was just doing all those things because I realized that there was nobody. I wasn't doing that because I was expecting to get the job. So I think after that game, the Monday or the Tuesday, so I just got a message on Facebook. So I didn't even see the message. It was Sunday Samsidin that saw the message. So it was Mr. Godwin, the director of sports at MFM then. So he just sent a message. He commented, okay, so I made a post after the game. So he now commented on the post that, Wale, please see me in my office tomorrow. I think that should be on Wednesday. That should see him. So I didn't even see. So Samsidin called me the night and said, Mr. Godwin reached out to you. He said you should see him. Congratulations. I said, for what? He said he thinks he wants to give me the job as
media officer job.
I went to Mr. Godwin the next day. He said, Wale, I wanted to resume as the media officer for MFM now that we're in the NPFL. what do you think should be your salary? There was nothing like interview. There was nothing like bring your CV. Just said, how much do you think we can offer you? So we spoke. I said, okay, give me this. So I said, no, let's start with this.
How much was it?
How for you?
I want to know how much it is.
Don't stop
So back then, it wasn't a bad figure, you know. Around 120 back then.
Not bad.
Like
not
8
bad.
years
Not
or 9 years ago.
Not bad.
That's
no.
not bad.
Yeah.
Because how much was the average player getting? And most was 150.
Around that period.
Yes,
Around that period.
150. So it wasn't bad, to be fair.
So-
No, but I did hear that people did try to take the
Yeah,
job.
so
people
this
converted
is
the
what
job.
happened. I will tell you that story.
You
So
see,
when I was
while after I denied, you won't
yeah,
complain.
no, let me. So not with MFM. So when I was with Bolo Oton,
Yeah.
so I think it was when we got that promotion to the NNL. That was when senior colleagues, they reach out to the man and say, say, look, we can do this thing that Wale is doing. We are more experienced. We are this, we are that. You know, big
Experience
colleagues,
in the mud.
that they can do this. If I mention name, you'll be very disappointed.
No mention.
Don't
But
mention them.
I-
We can talk about names later.
I won't do that. So they reached out. So the man was like, called me and said, Wale, look at this was happening. This your senior colleague is actually asking for your job, but I've told him that no, that's
But he shouldn't have. I thought he shouldn't have. Look, I thought because when I heard about the MFM, because MFM are obviously doing great things, qualify for the CAF Champions League, it just seemed like I said, you know what, there was no stopping what they were going to do. I also heard a lot of people were interested because they realized that you were sitting on an opportunity for them to travel abroad, go for international games cover, and then they started coveting your job. But the day I sat down, so like we say, you hear people's story without telling them, and I'm like, look, why chain was not broken? Except you already have issues with the media officer. If you don't have an issue with him, then leave him in his job, because not only do the team trust him, there's also some form of you're building a profile, and whenever you finish building this profile, whenever he's going to build his own story, because he obviously would also get to the age where he would mentor some other people. He would start off by saying, somebody gave me the opportunity at the time when I practically wasn't the most qualified for the job, right? So that's what I thought, and like I say, it's a story for another day.
Yeah, and I think what you just said now, is playing out currently at Ikorodu City.
We're about to get into it.
We're about to get to Ikorodu City because we need to start from somewhere.
What I want to start with, Wale, there was a story that happened I like the controversial stories first, and not because I'm antagonistic, but I just want to understand why. So I think it was about 2 weeks ago, Plateau United, right? They were here. Let's start with that story, right? You jumped out, you tried to come in front of the story. I have my reservations, but that's a conversation for another day. What happened? Why were both teams training? I know you're going to mention to me that, look, Lagos State,
the facility.
But we know what international, you've gone abroad, you've gone everywhere. You know that the team that is going to play, the visiting team has the time to train on that pitch, and you need to give it to them. But let's start by asking what happened.
Okay, so this is what happened. So it was, I think, that should be like 3 Saturdays ago.
Yeah, it was about that.
4 Saturdays ago. So we usually, the away team, whenever they come to Lagos, they have to fill the pitch, a day before the game, and then they have there's a time scheduled for them. Right. So now that same day, they were to train on the pitch from 5 to 6. That's just for 1 hour. So now, if you can, I don't know if you can still remember, Sporting Lagos
had the game.
Yes, they had the game that day. So originally they were supposed to start their game from 3 and end the game by 5.
Yeah.
So then that was the original plan. So because of that plan, we scheduled, not even we, the state FA, scheduled Plateau United train by 5 to 6. And before that day, we've not trained at that pitch for the whole week. So they scheduled the Ikorodu City to train by 6 to 7. But Sporting Lagos started their game by 4. They ended the game by 6. So now there was no time for Plateau United to train. So because since they ended the game by 6, we have to train from 6 to 7. So what will now happen to Plateau United? So the club president, he was at the stadium after the game, and he had to speak to the coach of Plateau United that, look, what can we do? I mean, this is the situation. Sporting Lagos stretched their game. They didn't start by 3. They started by 4. Now this is 6 p.m. and we too, we have to, just work
use
out
the facility.
So what do we do? And Shola, is not one of those old coaches that you have in the league that you always believe that I have to use the full pitch, to train just for warm-up section. He told the president, he said, look, we can even, both teams can share the pitch. You can have this side, then we can have the other side. Just to manage the whole situation. We all know that currently in Lagos we have issues with facilities.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have the only standard facility we have for professional games in Lagos is the Unicon Stadium.
Mobolaji Johnson,
Unicon Stadium. Even during that week, all the trainings we had was on. There's a pitch they call key pitch at National Stadium. It's not even fit for academic football, but that was where we trained. So we needed to. So to cut the long story short, he agreed that both teams can train. So after that conversation, the team manager of Plateau United came. He was like, "No, this can't happen. We won't accept this. No, we have the time. We have to train. Blah 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 blah." So he was ranting and all of that. I'm sorry to use that word.
Yeah, you're fine.
So he was saying all of that, and the club president was like, "We've spoken to your coach. Coach said we are fine. And apart from that, your time you don't have the time again. We're just trying to accommodate ourselves and all that." So he said no. So, because he's the team manager, Shola, the head coach, cannot say otherwise. So the coach has to say, look, I don't know. Whatever the team manager, because the team manager is like the representative of the club. So what he says is what we'll do. So that was what. So before we knew what was happening, they started doing videos, started posting online that we are making the environment unconducive for them, that this is that we are making it to look like it's more than 3 points, and tomorrow is not even here yet. Sunday is not here yet, and we started doing all of those things, and they put all of those things on social media. It trended and all of that, but all those things does not really matter in the game of football. It is 90 minutes that will determine who is playing mind games. And at the end of 90 minutes, we were able to beat them 2-1. So that was what happened. And because they've sent all those things out, it caused a lot of backlash in the media. People that didn't hear from us, we're seeing a lot of things about Ikorodu.
No, but eventually
we have to go, do one or two,
let things out.
Things out and let people know that this is what happened.
While eventually, look, now hearing your side of the story fully paints a picture, and I understand, but I still think there was a mix-up from the Lagos State Football Association, knowing that international best practice always says the away team needs to train, they must have their time. I felt that what they could have, and this is my opinion, what they could have done was reschedule the timing. So the away team collect your 1 hour. Finish, or home team, if lights can come on, come and train into the night. That would have been because to avoid the media circus we had, just to avoid it. Because when I saw the story, I first said, no, that you just avoid this. This is not, you don't need, because Ikorodu City are doing really well. That's going to be my next line of question. Ikorodu City are doing very well. It's a different case when what happened last year, it's a one-off. But this year, it's the same thing. Now, despite losing the manager from last year, a sizable amount of the backroom staff, right? A lot of footballers have moved on. What is the secret behind the success Ikorodu City is enjoying this year? That's the question, because they're top of the table.
Because you can't say consistency this time around, because it's not the same manager.
You can't tell me
not
fear
the
of
same set of
relegation
players.
either.
And congratulations on one of your players that just left for Lokomotiv Plovdiv.
Plovdiv. No.
Plovdiv is
Adelani.
Botev. That's in Bulgaria.
One of the top teams in Bulgaria.
Which juju now they use?
These people, they sell players.
No, not even for selling player for the NPFL, because this is a Leicester kind of story. Remember last year, the first Leicester's year, the year before, the year for Leicester City, the year before they came on board, they struggled, stayed at just above relegation. The next year, they went to win the Premier League. People said it was a fluke, right? Ikorodu City is replicating a story of that. Started the year very bad last year, finished very close to a continental berth. This year, Ikorodu City are top of the table, despite losing a lot of players. Losing the coach.
Okay, so I would say this. You can call it a secret, but I don't think it's
Here we go. I've got a pen out.
So we have there's a system that we have at Ikorodu City, and it all boils down to how we approach football and how we see football at Ikorodu City. For some clubs, we see football beyond the 3 points. For some other clubs, they must win all games, and by so doing, you put everybody under pressure. By so doing, if you are a very talented player or you are a manager or a club administrator that you know what to do. But the moment you have this thing in your brain that you must win all the games, then the stuff that you're made of, you may not be able to, bring out your best potential on that particular job. So at Ikorodu City, we take that away from all our staffs, including the player. That's one. Then secondly, there's a philosophy that we have in the team. Whoever comes in, just like Barcelona or Real Madrid. Remember, there was a time that Mourinho won the league with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
He was sacked.
Because this was toxic.
The place was, well, you can say the place was toxic, but I feel he was not following the philosophy of Real Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have something like that at Ikorodu City. I'm not saying we have Real Madrid or Barcelona philosophy, but there's a system that we have in place. So whoever comes in, we have to fit into the system. And for that system to work, you need coaches and you need people that have the same ideology. So that's what has been keeping us going. That's one. Then secondly, we always plan for the next season. As we are now, we are planning for the next season. We are looking at possible players that we can promote from our academy. If you look at this season, we promoted like 5 players from our academy to the main team. So we have an academy. We have a reserve team. The academy is from U17, that's under 17 till under 13. So sometimes we promote players from the under 18 to the reserve team. That's the team B, and we organize friendly games for them. We expose them to games, friendlies, and all of that, just to be sure that they are prepared for next season. That's one. Then we have, we have a good scouting network in Nigeria, and majorly we don't focus on experience is good, but we believe that you can be 17 and 18 and be experienced. Experience is not about how many years
you've played in the league,
and that's what most clubs are getting wrong. They think that when it comes to experience in the game is how many years you have played in the league. No, it's not. For us at Ikorodu City, it's not. Experience is you are 17. What can you do with the ball? You understand? So, and I think those are the things that have been getting us going. Now, talking about want to do Leicester City, blah blah. Well, for me, we are just 3 years old in the league, right?
Same thing Ranieri said.
Exactly.
Just 3 years old in the league. Our target is not to win the league.
What's your target?
I always say this.
What's your target, Wale?
See, let's be
realistic.
And let's be sincere to ourselves.
Wale, you're the only one who is sincere to yourself.
I'm an insider, right? I'm an insider.
What is the target?
I know that you guys were really focused on getting a continental ticket last season.
You think we were focused on getting continental?
No, at first you weren't. No, but when it was close, when it became close, when you were seeing it.
How do you deny that? Because look,
the last game of the season.
Let's say the last 4-5 weeks.
Yeah,
you were very close to that position. There's no way.
Very, very close.
There's no way that you guys will not stop and look. Because look, except we're going to sit down here and deny. Even Lot's wife had to turn and look at the sun. Look at the salt. The destroyed. You will look at the table. There is Remo top. There's Rivers.
Abia.
Yeah. We and Abia were dragging. When Abia dragging for this slot, we can nick the slot. I remember you still had the opportunity in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no way. There's no way you are not thinking about it somewhere.
Well,
I think at the point.
I think
for us, about to lie.
I'm not going to lie. So I think many people think if we plan to probably get a continental ticket from day one, I think we would have gotten it.
Yes. Okay, now that makes better sense.
Yeah, it wasn't in our plan. That's just the truth. It wasn't in our plan.
Plan one was just stay in the league.
But our plan was just to remain in the league and to be stable in the league. And I think that's what we're still doing. We just want to be stable in the league. A time will come that we'll come out and say, look, this season we want to win the league, and we'll definitely go for it. But I think for now, we're still growing. See, what people are just looking at is this. Fine, we are at the top of the table now. And don't forget that if you are very, very conversant with the way things usually play out in Nigerian professional football, you know that most of the time, not even in Nigeria, even in Europe, is the second stanzas or the second
Yeah.
round.
Yeah,
That's
it's
where
always
the
toughest,
league,
yes.
usually
When
begins.
jungle
That's the
mature.
business
That's
end.
that's business end. So now we are topping the league with same points with Nasarawa United. 27 point. We have Rivers United. They have like 4 games,
hand.
Yes,
Now-
outstanding.
and we know how huge and how big they are.
Yeah.
They are like the Real
Yeah.
Madrid, when it comes
Currently,
to Nigerian football.
yeah.
You understand? So, and we still have a Yimba in the mix. So you have big clubs in the mix. You understand? And again, if you look at the kind of the squad that we have young boys in our squad. I mean, last season we retained only just 2 players from 1, 2, 3. I think 3 players from the squad for last season.
Yeah.
So we have virtually, we have like 70 or 80% new boys. And these are the boys that have been playing the league. At some point, I believe to be realistic and to be honest, I believe at some point, fatigue, so many things will set in. That might be the second round. So by that time, we might slip up from the top of the table. So that's why I said we are still looking for balance and we're still looking for stability in the league. However, when we get to the second round, we never can tell Ikorodu City can still win the league. But that's not our main focus.
Let me ask, since you mentioned the sort of change you guys have had, do all your players have a professional contract?
Definitely. So as it stands now in the Nigerian Professional Football League, Nigerian
Premier
Football League, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we all
I
make the
don't
mistake.
think
It's
I
still
don't think-
NPFL,
yeah.
NPFL.
I don't think there's any player or there's any club without professional contracts because I've been part anyway. This season we registered all our players. I played the key role,
CSS.
in all of those things, and there's no player without a professional contract. I mean, I can speak for Ikorodu City, and I believe the NPFL body or the board would not even accept any team without a professional contract for their players. So all the players are professional.
All right. So, since you've mentioned that, I just want to ask you one last question from Ikorodu City. If Kelvin has more, that's fine.
I have one.
How do you feel, or what was the feeling like at the end of last year? A few of your players made the CHAN provisional list.
Yeah.
Look, for a team that just got promoted to the NPFL and a few of your players, including your captain, making the CHAN team, let's leave whether they moved or not. And that's another question for another day. Did you guys get money for the move?
Definitely.
Okay, that's good. All right. Was it plenty money?
It was small money.
Okay. But how proud in the system? Because you also lost the manager. Maybe I'll just bunch it together.
Yeah.
The fact that you also lost your manager who's moved over to shooting, a few of your directors and backroom staff
Yeah.
moved as well. How proud was Ikorodu City for getting players to get into the international? Eric Shell called them up, 1.
Yep.
Right. 2, the fact that you've lost this guy and you guys are still able to put together a run this season, even better than where Aweruro is currently.
Okay, so the first question. For us at Ikorodu City, when we started, right, the model of the club is business. I mean, using this business kind of model, and we look at the players that we can sell, players that are very, very sellable. So that's more of the reason why when you come to Ikorodu City, you see young guys, young players, because for the international market, there's a certain age you get to. For international market, it will be very, very difficult for you to get deals abroad. So all of those things, we put all of those things into consideration before we started, and that has been what we've been doing. And that's more reason why we realized that at the end of last season, about close to like 7 or 8 players left Ikorodu City for international deals abroad. So now we see those things as how do I put it now? You have this not strengths. We see it as I want to look for the right word to use now. Like after when you do this appraiser at the end of the season, at the end of the
your
year,
KPIs,
and you see that okay, in this area we are making progress. So we see it as like a progressive kind of report or kind of thing for Ikorodu City. That's one, and it shows that what we are doing is really working. As I speak to you now, before the end of this season, we might 4 or 5 players now. 4 or 5 players now. Their papers are in the embassies looking for visas to go to.
Which positions?
Check.
Which positions? So we're going to sit down and watch and look for those players when they play.
Hey, don't worry.
Okay, but that's all good.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I think I like what you guys are doing. it brings me back to what Emmanuel Amunike said about Heartland.
Yeah.
That the club, did he say 15 years or so, or 16 years, they've not sold one player.
Yeah.
That means the government have been churning out money every season, millions of naira, without getting anything back.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing this with ease. So I like your model. So the question for me, number one, I have two questions. What are you guys doing differently? What soap did they cut for you guys? The way you guys they use like to get deals. Today, can we mention some of the brands? Today is brand A. You look at your jersey and it looks like a Formula One.
Yeah, there's a lot of
this here, there's this here. You guys are getting that. Then number two, can you just tell us, like, how much does it cost the management of a team to run an NPFL team for a season? Roughly how much?
Okay, so let me start let me answer the first question. So, some people believe that the Nigerian football league system, right, that is not profitable. That brands, they don't really like what we are doing, or they won't identify with any club because the game is not on TV, this and that, blah, blah, blah. People have that belief. But when we came on, because, we've been in this game there was a day I was just thinking, I think for like 15 years now. I started, this football thing when I was in school. I was in 200 level. That was when I started, I started writing and all of that, putting stuff online on blogs and all of that. Was when I started. So we've been in this, in this game for almost 15 to 20 years now, right? And we've known the problems and the solution. In fact, when I was in school, part of the things that we did when I was in school, we have a section, I think that was in my PR class, there was a particular section that we have that I was the one that even spearheaded it, that let's look at the problems of Nigerian football. That was one of the things I did in school, and we researched a lot about that. So we realized that if you package your club, let's forget the fact that the team, games are not on TV, but you can create a TV for yourself. Mm-hmm. For instance, now, right from our NNL days, we always ensure that our games are streamed live. Yeah. Right? And after that, we upload the game. These are very, very simple things. After that, we put the games on YouTube just for whoever wants to see can see. If we need to send clips to agents, there's a particular player that we sold to a club in Albania. The only thing, when they reached out to us, they were saying that they need to come. We said, no, you don't need to come. We had to send 4 or 5 games where this player did so well. Full games, full 90 minutes, because that's what they need. They don't need your highlights. They need the full 90 minutes. So we sent 4 or 5 90-minute game of this particular player. And after that, they were okay. They sent the contracts back to us here, and they sent one down to Nigeria. The player signed here, even before moving, and they didn't even see him. So we put all of this. So now, when we're about looking for sponsorship, right? These are the things. One of the things I will pitch to them is, okay, on social media, we are strong on social media. Then on the YouTube, if you sponsor our team, you have visibility for your brand, stuff like that. So then we're still in the NNL. When we're in the NNL, we got the sponsorship in the NNL. Not plenty money, I think 15 or 7,000, 7 million or 15 million back then in the NNL. Just to show that, okay, we can actually achieve a lot. We can actually, brands can always come. So when we get to NPFL, so we had a bank in the NNL, our first season. Second season, a betting company came on board, and we were together. That was second season. So the third season, we gained the promotion. It's still the same second season. So in 2 years, we played 3 seasons in 2 years, because a bridge league, 2 are bridge league, and the other one was a semi kind of. So in the third year, we get promoted to NPFL. So we're with this other brand, the betting company. So why we're in, and don't forget, it's a big brand.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was so easy for us to approach others. And they were like, okay, if this big brand, can join, can sponsor your team there, that means you guys are doing something nice in your club. So that was how we were able to get the second one, the third one, and the fourth one.
And the BIM one.
Yeah. I was going to ask, before we go to...
sorry, let me...
the
other
cost,
question,
yes.
About the cost. So to run a professional football league with a minimum budget, with the maximum, what's it called now? Minimum wage now. We will need close to 550 million naira. A season. So if you are the type that pays, probably you pay 700, 800, 900. We have some clubs that pay 1.2 million to coaches, and players earn 900,000. You will need roughly maybe 700 million naira to run
a billion
in a season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. It's a lot of money.
But at the end of the day,
Does that include
Sometimes it goes up when you decide to fly.
for playing
flight?
the league without flight, for playing the league, what do you get?
That's
That's the question, because
That's
I
what quickly
remember
asked.
when the game used to be on TV. We can mention it, of course. When it used to be on Super Sport, there used
Say
to
it
be
was on
about
Star Times.
yeah, there used to be about, was it how much? What was the cost?
So-
30 million.
Yeah, 30
Then it was 30 million. Then
so
at
the
the point it
economy
moved to 50 million.
was still better, than. So if you have 30 million, 40 million as at that time, it can at least to cater for like 40 to 30% of what you spend in the season.
Now the goal is to get to the continent. The moment you qualify, they just give you your 50K.
At least
This is
for
our
each
whole
round.
body.
For each round.
Yeah,
Just that. So I think that's good.
I was going to ask you that. Look, you guys work with Ikorodu City works with a lot of young footballers, and this is not an orthodox question. How difficult is it to manage young people, knowing all the shenanigans they get up to, all the excesses? Because I remember a few stories from Ikorodu City. Sorry, MFM, not Ikorodu, right? And I remember there was this story, right? I won't mention the name of the footballer. Maybe you remember. The player took his girlfriend with him. And then it became, and then I just started, I'm like, wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you guys experience stuff like this?
Well,
You don't need to call the name of the player. They're human, they're young boys.
I think
young boys filled with
at
testosterone.
Ikorodu City, we've not experienced such, and this is it. So most of these players that comes to Ikorodu City, like I said, they are very young players. Most of them coming from the academy. So the particular story,
The guy is an OG.
Yeah.
that guy knows the academy player, na man.
No, but isn't that these young boys don't think about
so now
it?
these young boys,
Boys are probably thinking about leaving the
This is the
country.
problem they have. Their problem is social media. So they have problem with resting. They don't. I mean, there was a particular one of our players now. He traveled to. He's with a club in Egypt. So we realized that when he joined the Ikorodu City, he was performing well, and the women decided earning 150, 200,000 naira. We realized that his game, keeps dropping and all of that. And after our findings, we now discovered that he spends so much time on the internet doing what? Doing TikTok. So he had listening.
Tap.
He had listening. So that's really affected his performance. So that's the problem we're having with, because these are Gen Zs, whether we like it or not. If you have a player, if the oldest player in your team is 20, 21 years in that bracket,
Yeah.
you have 17, you have 18, in your team. You have problems with them, they have problems with social media.
But is it what you want to stop as
But
a
when
club?
you say when you say tap, so okay.
No, I'm not saying tap.
No.
I just said,
I don't know if he's doing tap.
I just said
he spends more time on social media.
Because I wanted to
And we
ask
discovered
that
it was
TikTok is addictive.
What would a
man.
20-year-old or a 21-year-old be thinking? I'm trying to remember what I thought I was 20 and 21. Trust me, you guys don't even want to know what I thought about. But on TikTok, the tap idea is a woman, right?
I don't know. I'm not saying
Kelvin, you are the master of TikTok here.
No, it's not like I'm a
Tap
master
tap
of
is what?
TikTok, right? So sometimes I just wake up in the morning,
I go on
probably
TikTok.
because one, I handle some of our brands at Boss Sport, right? TikTok, one of them. I wake up in the morning like 4 o'clock to probably check if we've had a boom in increase of followers. Only to probably just go in and see that there are some, God's giving creature,
Tap.
and they are awake in the
At 4
morning,
a.m., Kelvin.
4 a.m., 5 a.m.
You need.
And the thing is, so why are you awake by 4 a.m. doing tap?
so
What are you
So
doing?
your guys don't do tap.
So I don't
No, they don't do tap. They just watch
don't
people that are
know.
saying tap.
You don't know.
I don't know, but I feel, this particular player. So what really affected him was because he spends so much time on social media, and it's just this TikTok. So I don't know what he does on TikTok.
You don't know. Okay. So that's
But it'll be fine,
that's the only situation. You don't have.
So the only problem we are facing now is just this social media problem.
That's also a national team problem.
And we've been able to should I say cut it down? Yeah. So there's something that we do, but I won't like to say there's a way we manage that aspect.
Okay.
Just
All right.
to get the best out of from this guy.
If Ikorodu City can manage their social media usage for their players, how come the Super Eagles cannot do the same thing?
Okay, so for the Super Eagles, fine, the players at Ikorodu City they are professionals. right?
Same as the Super Eagles.
Same as the Super Eagles, but you can't compare the
Those
level.
ones are probably
No,
more
but the
elite
question is-
than-
no,
You can't compare. You can't. So I heard a story.
Wale,
Yeah.
for every Super Eagles player who's been criticized for his social media usage,
Yeah.
they failed to perform on the field of play.
Yeah, that's
A
it.
good example is, so I'm going to mention 2 examples, right?
Yeah.
We all know Victor Boniface.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one.
Very good. And look, I'm not against I'm not for or against how he uses social media. I'm not saying let it translate to the field of play, right? One. Alex, it will be another example.
Yeah.
It will be the minute he complained about a few things in the last qualifiers. Wham. So my point is, look, you guys, you expose yourself to this thing. So when you get the criticism, you have to take, because you've exposed yourself already.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you were a very quiet person who was not so loud on social media,
But it's
we would not be the ones going to look
it's so
for trouble.
difficult for these players not to go on social media these days.
So-
After
so-
a
so-
game, they go on
so
social media.
I heard a story about Pep,
Mm-hmm.
Man City guys, when he came. I don't know how true that story is or was. They said at Man City, if you're a player at Man City, when it is 10 p.m., they cut off your internet connection from wherever you are. If you are living in the
Hotel.
hotel, or you are a family, like someone like De Bruyne that has his own family in the UK, that once it is 10 p.m., they cut off the internet connection so that you can rest. And by 6 a.m. or thereabouts,
They restore it.
They restore it. And that was how Pep was able to, manage those guys. But then we can't compare those guys with Super Eagles player. A player like Osimhen or Ekong, I don't think there's anybody in that team that can say Osimhen, once it is 10 p.m.
Off your
internet.
but isn't
Let me go
it-
spot now.
No, but
I don't
Wale,
think-
as a
I don't
professional footballer, knowing that the assignment at hand.
But for our hold on, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for our boys, we usually have this section on how to manage their health, on how to rest as a footballer. We do that regularly for them, on how important rest is to their career as footballers. So we do that time after time and all of that. And despite that, we still take some actions against them. You have code of conduct. So
Yeah.
in Ikorodu City, you put
You sign.
there's a paper that you need to sign, and in that paper you have rules and regulations. Once it is this is what you're expected to do. So if you flaunt those rules,
There's a fine.
Do you think the Super Eagles should have a code of conduct?
Well, I think so.
Why?
If that would bring the best out of the team, if that would solve the problems of not resting enough, because here is the truth, and I will say this without any apology to anybody. These guys, the players now, when they come for the national team, they see it as a way they see it as a break.
Like a mixer.
No,
interact.
they see it as a break from the usual hustling in Europe. So when they come home, it's like they are coming for holiday. They are not coming with the mentality of I'm
Work.
going for a serious work, a more serious work than the work I'm doing for Napoli or the work I'm doing for any club in Europe. So that's how they see it.
So you think that the last qualifiers we had, the Eagles were not serious enough?
Well, for me, I think they were not serious enough, because if they were serious enough, they wouldn't be talking about the money they are owing them, or they were owing them before a crucial game.
But what would you expect a man who's Wale, you worked for clubs. You just mentioned you worked for MFM, right? If MFM did not pay you, that's a problem.
Yeah.
The NFF have refused.
That's the problem for me. That I'm earning 100.
But again, every labourer is entitled to his wages. And how does that saying go?
Yeah, that's
so,
the way it goes.
Didn't the NSC and the NFF expose themselves to these problems, knowing that you could have resolved? These guys are. Nobody forced you to say $10,000.
Yeah.
Now you decide to say you won't give them 10K tolls.
Yeah.
So isn't that a problem? How do we resolve this? That going forward, because these ones have fought it. Now predecessors fought it.
They fought it and they lost out of the World Cup.
Agreed. Every time we do this, so my problem is, why isn't the NSC and the NFF learning? The 98 squad complained about the same thing. Olise complained about 2002. 2014, remember they took money live to Brazil.
To Brazil.
Now again, we're doing the same thing. When do we stop this circle of knowing that, you know what, do the right thing? So when these players fail, you can turn and face them whole and say, you know what, you failed the nation by yourself.
Well, for me, it all boils down to our system in Nigeria. I think it all boils down to our system in Nigeria. In the first place, players should not be owed. Nobody should be owed any kind of bonus, salary, blah, 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 in the first place. Yeah. And again, we need to. I'm not trying to speak for either the NFF
or the players,
the NSC.
Or the NSC. I will still put the bulk of the blames on the players, because we all know. See, in this current Nigeria, there are times that you work with brands. I work with brands. I work with. There are some brands that you work with. After 2 months, 3 months, it is in fact sometimes it's even after the project, maybe for like 4 months.
6 months.
Sometimes 6 months they don't pay you, but later on they will pay you, and they will still come. They can still come and say, okay, we have another project. Will you say because they are not? It's very bad. It's one of the problems we have in Nigeria. But that's what it is in Nigeria. So will I not say, okay, because brand A is owing me 3 months gig money that they've not paid. Because of that, if brand B come, I will now say, brand B, you must pay me before I start your job. No, I will still go ahead and do it. You open that. So now let's look at the importance of what they have in front of them. I was telling a lot of people, because I was against it on social media, and I was so loud about it. We have a crucial game. Most of you guys, for instance, now I was so pained for Osimhen. I know if Osimhen had the chance, if Osimhen was the captain, he wouldn't accept that he should strike before a crucial World Cup game. When he was at under 20 going for World Cups, similar thing came up. He lost out. The last World Cup at Russia, the last World Cup we had, before the Qatar, the Russia, he didn't go. The one in Qatar, Nigeria didn't qualify. Now this one,
that's 4 circles.
Yeah, 4 circles. 3 circles. Now the fourth one,
senior level.
The fourth one, same thing is popping up. So I was like, okay, why can't you guys just, you are owing us, play this game. Then if you qualify
before the AFCON,
AFCON, even when you get to the
AFCON. And there's the AFCON. The AFCON is 1 full month.
I remember when we were in Cameroon.
2021.
Ahmed Musa was still the captain. Before, I think that was after our first game. The second game, Ahmed Musa told the NFF that if you guys didn't pay us all the money you were owing, we will not play the next game. For like 3 days they were on it. They have to go and look for the money. They came with cash and they paid these guys. So you guys can as well do the same thing and hold this NFF to ransom and say, this Nations Cup, if you don't pay all our outstanding, even players that didn't make the team. I know some players maybe like
going to drop off.
So those players were the ones that spearheaded this and say, okay, let's fight for this money, because if we don't fight for this money now, we may not get it, because for AFCON they might not even, So those players, you can still stand your ground and say you have to pay the likes of maybe Ekong will not make the team. You have to pay them. If they confirm to us that they've gotten their alert, that is when we'll play, and they will still pay you.
That's good.
So that could have been the smartest way of going about these things. But Nigeria is bad. Yeah, they have to pay them. And we lost out of the World Cup. Now, Osimhen will be 30 years in 4 years' time.
31.
Will he be at the next World Cup?
We don't know.
No, I think numbers don't favor him, actually.
Okay.
Right, so we've got to go. But Wale, before we go, I was going to ask you a personal question. As a journalist, right, you've covered games. Has there been any game that you've covered that, you felt like your life was threatened?
That was a game. That was when I was at MFM. So that particular year, there was a particular year that we almost win the league.
Yeah, you came second.
So it was between us and Plateau United. So we have 2 home games to go. 2 away games to go. Then we now come back home for. So Plateau United and El Kanemi Warriors. So Plateau, I think they were leading Ikorodu. They were leading MFM with 3 points. So we went to Jos. If we win the game, we'll go top of the table. Then we'll go to El Kanemi. Whatever happened at El Kanemi will not really count, because we have like 2 home games at home. So that game was one of the craziest games of my life as a journalist, because during that game, I think we scored, and we were pressing. So it was almost looking as if we were going to score. The pressure was much on them, and before we knew what was happening, their fans, they started, they started troubling.
Making noise.
Causing trouble and all of that. And then before we say Jack Robinson, like people used to say, we started seeing bullets flying, in the air and all of that. And that time, we have young players as well, the likes of Ode, Sikiru, Olawale. That was the first time I realized that, look, these guys, they look like they're hard guys, but they are not hard guys. So I was afraid that day, because it was a near death experience, for us. So I think that was the only game that, I was like, wow. I don't want this thing to happen to you.
Just to spin it well, I'm talking about league. Which is the most difficult ground to go to? You know, when you go to England, people say, "Oh, Anfield." Some people say, "Oh, St James's Park."
I think it's El Kanemi.
El Kanemi.
Maiduguri.
Wonderful.
If you ask 20 people, or if you ask the 20 teams in the NPFL, they will tell you it's El Kanemi.
Is it the fans? Is it the
terrain? The terrain and the way and the security structure.
They're hostile.
You know, when you are going to that Maiduguri, there's this thing you have at the back of your mind that you are going to the headquarters of.
Yeah.
And while you are going, there's a lot of things we don't see. You know, there's a lot of roadblocks.
That should be the most guarded place.
So there's a lot of roadblocks and all of that. Mm-hmm. And if you now speak to the people, someone can even tell you that last week, look at that because that was our experience when we went to Maiduguri. Somebody was showing us that look at that church.
They just threw bomb
3 days ago. Someone was saying that this market was 2 weeks ago. And we are walking, you know, so that alone sends bad, signals to the players and to everyone, and it makes the environment also. Now, on the day of the match, the way the stadium is built, you see so many faces, not fine faces like this, not smiling faces, and you're like, look, we are playing again. So there was a particular game that was the same game that the coach of the team of El Kanemi Warriors was telling us that, look, if we should win this game, I won't finish this game. I will leave because you see these people, and we are seeing it.
Like, wait, if you beat
his team,
you won't see me at FT.
That you won't see him at full time. That at maybe 70, he will just walk out into the dressing room and it's gone. And you see it in the.
I thought Wale was going to even mention maybe Sani Abacha or even Lekon Salami.
No.
You know what I mean?
But bro, El Kanemi.
Kano is like the Lagos of Southwest.
Yes. Because of how the stadium gets impacted, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of noise. Ibadan is the same thing. Lekon Salami, it's a lot of noise. People are like, shooting. That if shooting plays bad, they will abuse their team too.
But El Kanemi,
that's very tough.
All right, you know what? We've got to go, Kelvin.
Gotta go. Thank you very much, Wale, for coming.
My goodness, we should always hear stories of Nigerian football. It makes me smile, really.
El Kanemi.
All right, big thanks to Wale Quadry for coming through today. It's the Playbook or Beyond the Playbook. We're signing out today. Kelvin and myself will catch you next time for another show. Bye.